unto you. But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. If ye be reproached for the name of reproached for the name of Christ, happy are ye, for the Spirit of glory and of God resteth upon you, and on their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on his behalf. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God, and if it first begin at us, what shall we then be of them that obey not the gospel of God? And if the righteousness scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of God commit the keeping of their souls to him in well-doing as unto a faithful Creator. Okay, so I'm going to start with verse 12. What I believe that it says is that when the end times come, or when your trials are coming on you, that means God is yet blessing you. Also, it means that Christ suffered more than what we are suffering right now for our sakes. So why can't we suffer for God?
His sake. Suffer for his sake.
Or for his sake. I know. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to tell you a little story about a girl. This little girl was born to a 16-year-old mother and a rapist father. This little girl was moved from place to place because no one really wanted her, and all she ever wanted was her mother. All she was ever seeking for was her mother. This little girl, around the age of 5, got sexually abused by a man that she didn't even know. But because the little girl was so friendly, she just kind of let him in. And then she began to feel like, as she got older, that there was a brand on her forehead saying, "I'm available, come do me."
Yeah.
So at 7, this girl got sexually abused by her cousin, a boy she grew up with like a brother. And at 12, she moved from her grandmother's house to her mother's house. And in her mother's house, she thought she was safe. She thought she was going to be well taken care of. Well, what happened was, this girl was sexually abused by her mother's boyfriend, who then became her mother's husband and father of her baby brother. This man abused her. But the thing of it is that this girl started out in a way because she just wanted somebody to love her. That's all she really, really wanted, was somebody to love.
Yeah.
What she had known all along is that the only person that she could rely on was God. Only she really didn't know of God like that. While she was raised in the church, they did one thing and spoke another, so she just never really, she really kind of pushed God aside, even though he was calling out to her, calling out for her life. That girl went from her mother's home to foster home, came back to her mother, and yet still got abused. And it got worse as she became 18, because he wasn't just touching her now, he was raping her. So this girl was lost. And this girl was really lost. This girl was in trouble and just didn't know it. That little girl was me. Is me. In some small way. It's all right because that girl got saved. That girl got baptized.
Yeah.
That girl is filled with God and can touch someone who's in pain and pray their pain away.
Hey, right.
So you have to understand that
right.
while we come from things that, you know, were not right,
Turns out to be
God is
something
the
good.
one that saved.
Yeah.
God is the one that saved us. While we come from things that we are ashamed of, God yet saves us.
Plus.
So why can't we go through a trial or two for him while he sent his son here to die? And not just die in no regular way, you know. He had to die on a cross.
Crucified,
Yeah, of
yeah.
course. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
of course.
And what did he say? God.
Oh, no, I know. I've read it. Believe
What
me, I
they
know.
know not what they do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
Still be able to forgive.
that's called love.
Yeah.
You know,
That's agape.
it's agape love.
So, now, while this girl was saved, she was still very, very angry. So, yeah, she was saved. She went to church. She praised God, but in her heart, she wanted to kill the man who did this to her, who made her not trust men, who made her not trust herself, trust her own judgments.
Maybe that's why you don't like me.
That is not why I don't like you. I am so past that is not even funny. I like you fine. You just talk too much.
I know, I can't help it.
At least you're honest about it, right?
I know, that's what I'm saying.
You ain't denying.
Listen, man.
Yeah, you be honest.
I say you ain't denying.
You're good, man. You be honest about it.
I know I talk about it.
Look, you know,
That's all right, brother.
I talk too much. I have talked, but I think my point is that while we came from dirt, while we came from sin, while we were born
Yeah,
in
in
sin,
sin.
God yet saves us.
Yeah.
You know,
Even in the Bible, it speaks of the sinners. Rejoice the sinner,
Boy, I feel
You know,
so good.
because it's the sinners who's the ones out there that's going to be some of the people that's going to go to heaven, because they've seen the bad, and they're looking for the good, and they found the good, and they're going to rejoice in the good and in the God, So it's sometimes a bad thing could turn out to be a good thing. But
absolutely
I'll
right.
tell you, you know what?
Which is why I want to use my testimony, what God has put me through, to help girls and women who are in the same position that I was. That is yet what I believe God has for me. I'm not going to stand here and preach because I'm not a preacher. But I do want to discuss the word. I do want to discuss, Christ's suffering and things like that. So let's discuss it, okay?
Okay.
We're not going to be long because I think, brother, I think we have to leave soon. Not now, but soon.
Well, we got about an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, well, we got an hour to eat.
So we got 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So you don't want
So let's take that
I'm
last.
hungry.
So then I'm done, I think, because if we got 15 minutes.
Can we say a prayer over Kathy?
Yes, we can say a prayer right now over
And
Kathy.
try to help her with her pain to